Hello, guys. Welcome. We are live. And my lighting is weird because I've got one side of my face lit in, and that's kind of weird. But here we are. Hello and welcome. This is a live video. We are talking about, where did I put my glasses? They're right here. We are talking about the top 5 secrets that women keep from men. So normally I don't do these live because I do my live Q&As in my lingerie live, but I have been under the weather, and yesterday was the first, yesterday was the first day I started feeling more like myself. So I wasn't able to shoot videos in time. So now we are doing these live, and wow, the hair's not looking the way I wanted it to look. Oh, well. So we're going to talk about the top 5 secrets, but so this isn't a live Q&A, but we can still chat. So I'm just curious, what do you think are one of the top 5 secrets that women keep from men? I'm very curious. Tell me what you think is one of them. So welcome, Derek from California. Michael says, I'm anxious to learn and understand about this subject. Chris says, hi, Erica. Hope you're feeling better. I am on the mend, my darling. I'm on the mend. Men are from Mars. Women are from Venus. I second to that, Erica. I love your channel, and you are absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much. Sorry, guys. My hair is just not cooperating today. Jeffrey says, been meaning to catch one of these. So these aren't one of my live Q&As. This is a little bit different. I'm going to do a couple of live videos today and tomorrow. So it's your evening. It's my morning in Bali. So we'll be doing another one of these. Jeffrey's from Texas. I will be going back to Texas in October. I will be in the good state of Texas, October. Can't wait to be back on American soil. From South Carolina, thank you for being so passionate about your work and helping others. I love the new earlier time for live streams. This is just, this is something just a little bit different. So Jason says that's brilliant. Their phone numbers. All right. So tell me, I'm going to pay attention to the chats as I go into this, but I want you to tell me, what do you think one of the top 5 secrets are? The first one, I'm just going to kind of go at this from a very different angle and just be very sincere with you guys. One of the secrets that women do not always reveal is how they've been hurt by their exes in the past, how severely they've been hurt. I want that to just kind of sit on you or sit with you, not on you. Here's the thing. I believe that a lot of times when we talk about advice, dating, relationships, we create this polarity, which polarity is beautiful, but we tried to make it like, like the men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Some of that stuff I don't agree with, because I'm not a doctor. So this is just Arica Angelo's opinion and Arica Angelo's experience as a coach for 13 years. And hearing what people say publicly and then what they say privately. As I've been coaching men, I realize that people are people. And so some of these top secrets that I'm going to share with you guys, this is stuff that I find even with men. These are secrets that human beings keep from one another to protect ourselves. So one of the top 5 secrets is she's not going to be as open with you about here's the thing, how severely her ex has hurt her. So put that down as one. She's not going to be as honest. Now, why is that important for you to know? Because a lot of times we react to people out of our pain. And so the person that you get is not always the full person. What you often meet is a person who has gone through some hard stuff, and now they have layers of protection that are protecting them. And so you don't get to see the real them. And so how do we overcome this? You're like, okay, that's the top 5 secret, is that she's not going to share with me how severely she's been hurt by her ex. how do we work through that? How do you navigate through that? And the way that you navigate through that is through vulnerability. You see, oftentimes we keep walls up because it's like you versus me, as opposed to just saying we're both human beings. We've both been hurt. How do we communicate through that so that this doesn't continue? Write this down. How do I communicate through this so that this doesn't continue to be a wall that divides us? And, vulnerability, especially for men, is a really challenging thing, which is why I created a full course all about vulnerability. Any woman can do it as well. But the way that we get past this roadblock, this secret that women keep of how severely they've been hurt by their ex, is through vulnerability. Because when we are vulnerable with one another, we create a safe place for you and for me to both show up equally together. Wouldn't that be so nice for you if you could show up on the playing field with women and it's equal? The only way that we neutralize that playing field is through vulnerability. And I know there's so much toxic advice that basically just encourages people to build up more walls, to play games, to hurt each other, want even more so than we've already been hurt. But the way that we level that playing field and we go, hey, here's the thing. You want this and I want this. So how do we meet each other in the middle? And it's through vulnerability. So if you really want to become like a master at this, I really encourage you, check out that vulnerability course, because that's really gonna support you to cultivate the language so that when a woman meets you and she's got those walls up, because how many of you men have met women out there with walls? The only way you're gonna get past those walls is through vulnerability. Here's the second top secret that she is not going to tell you. And I want to be honest with you. When she is meeting you, she is a human being and she just wants to be loved. But a lot of times when you meet women who have these walls, or women who are just like, they hide behind feminism, they hide behind independence, self-reliance, they hide behind these things. What they don't just communicate is, I'm here on this date. I am a woman walking throughout this world who just wants to be loved. And it's so weird that this would be a secret. But how many times, if you go on a date with a woman or you meet a woman, is she that transparent where she says, I just want to be loved? What are you looking for? I want someone who's going to love me and love me well. It's almost like we have to hide that from one another now. It's something that's so simple, why we're all here. And it's like now the secret. Well, I want someone that I can accomplish this with. And I want someone who's going to take care of me that way. And I want this. And we start putting out all these demands that come across as very entitled, as opposed to just saying, I really want someone who's going to love me well. It was so interesting because I've been under the weather. I've been watching tons of Netflix, and I decided to watch an old romance show called Notting Hill, and it's with Julia Roberts. And I just forgot the British guy's name. Oh gosh, Hugh Grant. And so she's this famous actress, and she meets this just normal guy who runs a bookshop in England, in Notting Hill, England. And, they go back and forth and they have their struggles, as we human beings do when we go into relationship. No, it's Hugh Grant. Hugh Jackman's different. I think Hugh Jackman is from Australia. So, they have all this conflict, and she comes into the bookstore and she says this simple line to him. And she said, all I am. He was like, but you're an actress and this will never work. And he starts coming up with all this rationale as to why it's not going to work. And she says this very simple, pure line to him, which is, all I am is a girl staring back at a guy asking to be loved. I'm not saying that exactly right, but that's essentially what she says is, I'm just a girl standing in front of a guy asking him to love her. And I think that that's a very simple thing that women are not as transparent with. And it's become almost secretive over the simple mere fact that they're dating, they're out there, showing their best self because essentially they want to be loved and loved well. And so I think we forget about that. I think we forget when you meet a girl, you don't see her in her vulnerable essence. You miss that. You see her as this like woman who has all the power, that she is going to take something from you, or she's going to get something from you, and she has all this power. And I think a lot of times we just don't see women as very simple human beings who just want to be loved. And here's the other secret: just like you. So one of the top secrets is she's not gonna be open with you. She's not gonna tell you how severely she's been hurt by her ex. And I just went through how you can work through that through vulnerability to bring her guards down. The second thing is she's not always gonna show you her simple essence, that she is a girl who just wants to be loved. And so the way that you're able to navigate through that is through vulnerability. Vulnerability bridges that gap. Okay. So that's something that you got to keep in mind. And so here's that vulnerability course. Like those of you who you're like, you know what, I'm tired of playing games. Here's the thing about this vulnerability course. This is what it really boils down to. If you're tired of the games, if you're like, this is, you know what, we have made relationships into something that is freaking rocket science, and it shouldn't be this hard because it's relationship. It's what we actually want. If you're tired of playing the games, then the vulnerability course is for you. If you're like, I'm tired of this game, I'm tired of all the things that people go through, I'm just through with it, then that's what you want to do. You want to change the game by not playing the game anymore and being vulnerable. And so make sure that you check out that course. Jordan says, or someone, Jotero says, it costs a lot. You know what costs a lot? Wasting 5-10 years of your life doing the wrong thing over and over and ending up single and alone. You know what else costs a lot? When you're alone and you have to get on anxiety and depression medication. That's also very expensive. You know what also is very expensive? When you go on countless vacations, paying for vacations, hoping that that fixes your life, that 1 week of a break, and you spend all that money and then you come back to your same miserable situation. You can't afford not to change you and how you relate to people. You cannot afford that. So here's the other, so I've brought on some 2 pretty heavy things. Here's a third one that is, it's just simple, but it's true. Women aren't always going to be honest with you about the things that they've done to make themselves more beautiful. They're just not going to tell you that. I actually, I started getting Botox this year. I turned 40. So in January, I got my first Botox, which I guess I should have been getting it a long time ago. And I started, I was at a restaurant and there were these people there. And somehow my age came up and they said, they go, how do you be vulnerable without being weak? Get the course and you'll find out. They said, somehow my age came up and I go, oh, I'm 40. And they go, how do you look like that? And I go, oh, Botox. And my friend sitting with me at the brunch said, why are you saying that? Like, you've just had Botox up here. Like, why would you tell someone that? And I'm like, I don't know. Why not? Why not just be honest? So I feel like that's one thing that women just don't tell you the truth about, is they're not honest about what they do for their beauty. Now, do you want to know the really deep reason behind this, or do you want to just keep it superficial? Wow, there are some cats out there going at it. So I'll tell you the real reason why women don't always tell you what they've done to look the way that they are. I mean, now women, they've got contacts, they've got extensions, they've got fillers, they've done plastic surgery, they've just done so many things. But why doesn't a woman always tell you her secrets? And why do you actually not want to go about finding out those secrets and just kind of let it be? I remember one guy, he was like really adamant to like find women's like secrets about like their beauty. Like, oh, that woman's doing this and that woman's doing that. And it's like, why is that so important to you? And I think this guy was just really insecure. He felt shit himself. And he's like, there's nothing I can do about my looks. So now I'm going to go after other people's looks. Here's the thing. The reason why you don't necessarily want to drill her about her beauty secrets is for this reason. A woman, a man has three questions. A man has one question: do I have what it takes? And I get this from a beloved author of mine named John Eldridge. I didn't come up with this. He says that a man has one question in his life: do I have what it takes? And that's why I end every single one of my videos with reminding you guys that you do have what it takes and that you are loved. But he says, for a woman, him and his wife, they wrote this book called Captivating. And they said, for a woman, she has three questions. She says, do you see me? Am I pretty? And do I have a beauty that is all my own? And so while men get defined and while they find their identity around their strength and being capable and being powerful, a woman, a lot of her identity is wrapped in her beauty. And I don't think that that's just a societal thing. I think that that is something that is within us, that our beauty is very a part of who we are. And so when a woman hides that from you, it's because she wants one of those questions answered. Do you see me? Am I pretty? And do I have a beauty that's all my own? So it's her way of taking care of her exterior. Meanwhile, her interior is she has that question of, do I have a beauty that's all my own? Which is am I on the fourth secret? The fourth secret, which is that a woman, she's not going to tell you this, but she wants to feel unique. She wants to feel like she is different from every other woman. That's why when a woman walks into a room, she's going to compare herself to every other woman, because what she wants is she wants to understand, what is it that sets me apart from every other woman? What is it that makes me so unique from every other woman? Now, this is where you guys have the capacity, if you understand vulnerability, if you have the courage to move with vulnerability, you have the power to help answer this question. A lot of times we are able to answer questions for one another. And we just don't do that because we lack the courage to be vulnerable. And so once again, I'm going to share that vulnerability course because some of you out there, you're like, yeah, I really need this. Like, I am tired of just, being like every other guy. I'm tired of giving her the same experience that every other guy is giving her. I'm tired of getting rejected over and over, and it just feels like this constant cat and mouse game. I'm sick of this. I really want to do this differently. I want to go at this from a different approach. That vulnerability course is going to get you there. So I highly encourage you to get that right now. So when you were a masculine man, when you're my emotional warrior, and you, that emotional warrior who has the emotional courage, the emotional strength to be able to be vulnerable with a woman. When you have that courage to be vulnerable, you then can see her beauty, her unique beauty, not just on the outside, but on the inside as well. That you can see her unique beauty and you have the courage to call that out from her. Most of my life, I have been very fortunate to have mentors who have come in my path, where I remember when I was in my 20s, I saw myself as so small. And I remember mentors who would come and speak into my life, and they would say, you have greatness, you have leadership abilities, you're going to influence the world. People who would come and speak into my life. What they were doing is they were being very vulnerable, and they were speaking into my greatness, and they were calling it out with their words. And you have the power as a man to call out a woman's unique beauty through the power of your words. Because when we proclaim that over someone, when we say, you have greatness, you have this capacity to change the world with technology. When we say that, that is super vulnerable, because we don't know how people are going to respond to us. And that's where vulnerability comes in. We don't know if they're going to reject us, if they're going to go, that's just weird. You're weird. Okay, that's a bit far to stretch. And it's like, here, I'm putting my heart on the line, telling you what I see. There's that risk element that gets involved here. But when we have the courage to say it anyways, when you're that emotional warrior and you say it anyways, and you say what that unique beauty is in her, you change the trajectory of her life by planting that seed in her. It changes her life as she's able to allow that seed to saturate and to blossom from within. And so that's something I love that Shawn Michaels says, intimacy is into me, I see. And that's just it. When we're able to risk vulnerability, we are able to see the depths of people. One of the things that I've been able to do with my coaching is because I have practiced vulnerability, even with strangers, when I see beauty in people, I've been doing this for, I don't know, 20 years, if not more. When I see beauty in people, I've always gone out of my way to chase them down and say, I love this about you. I love that about you. And because I've cultivated that skill of vulnerability and I feel confident in it, now when I meet people on a personal basis, I'm able to look into their life and go, you have this greatness on your life, and this is what you do. I remember working with a client of mine. And because I've been able to do this, I've been able to see my clients differently and change the trajectory of their lives. And I remember I had this client who came to me, and he came to me for coaching with women and, that sort of thing. And I said to him, what are you doing? And he said, what? And I go, you're coming to me for coaching. I know you've gone to all these other coaches. When are you going to quit hiding out? And when are you going to start being a coach yourself? And he was like, what are you talking about? And I said, you keep hiding behind other coaches. You keep quoting us. You keep coming to us as a client. But when are you going to start trusting your voice and understand that you have a depth of wisdom that even us coaches haven't tapped into? When are you going to quit hiding, and when are you going to become a coach? And it changed the trajectory of his life. He is now coaching men all over the world. But it took vulnerability on my side to be able to say, I see the depths of you. Even if you haven't seen it, I see it inside of you. And that requires courage, you guys. That requires vulnerability. So when bringing it back to women, when she says, am I unique? Do I have a beauty that is all my own? The only way that you can speak that into her, that you can breathe life into her heart, is by having the courage to vulnerably share what you truly see inside of her. And like I said, there is that vulnerability. It's called vulnerability, the path into intimacy. If you want real intimacy with a woman, it's through vulnerability. And so that is how you begin to change how a woman sees herself. And guess what? If you can influence, write this down. If you can influence how a woman sees herself, you have then changed how she sees you. I'll say that again. If you can influence how a woman sees herself, if you can change how she sees herself, you change how she sees you. And we can only do that through vulnerability. So let's recap. She's never going to tell you how severe her ex hurt her. I just forgot number 2. Oh my gosh, you can tell I'm not very well. We'll come back to number 2. Number 3, she's not going to tell you her beauty secrets. Number 4, she's not going to tell you that she wants to feel unique from other women. She's not going to tell you that. And here is the 5th thing that women are not going to tell you. And now when I say women are not going to tell you, I'm talking about nowadays, these days, present time. She's not going to tell you that secretly she wants you to take charge. She's not going to tell you that. Why? Because now she has social pressures from other women about being independent, about being her own woman, and she needs to be in charge of her own life. But secretly, a woman still wants her man to be in charge. She still wants him to be the man. She still wants him to take lead. She still desires that polarity. Oh, thank you, Chris. Chris, oh, you guys are lifesavers. You're like, Arica, I know you're not feeling 100% just yet, but we've got your back. Number 2 is she's just a girl who just wants to be loved. And I shared the Notting Hill story about how Julia Roberts says to Hugh Grant, he's like, you're an actress, you're the, and she says, I'm just a girl standing in front of a boy wanting to be loved. Yes, that is so good. That is so good. Oh, I'm just so grateful for you guys. I'm super, super, super grateful. But yeah, she's just not going to be as honest about saying, like, I want a man to be in charge. Women still want polarity. I don't think, this is just my humble opinion, I don't think that's ever going to go away. I think there is an aspect of women that we're always going to want this. It doesn't mean she wants to be steamrolled by you. Doesn't mean she wants to be completely dictated to. And yeah, sometimes when you take charge, is she going to get annoyed by it? Sure, do it anyways. Continue to be who you are as a man. Continue to take charge. Thank you, Thomas, for your help. Guys, I wanted to go about this from a very different angle. I really want my advice to start really championing you guys to do dating and relationships from the heart, because that is where intimacy is bridged, is through the heart. And it's honestly why I think so many people fail with so much dating advice out there, is because most of it goes through the logic, it goes through gimmicks, it goes through games. But one thing I feel like we've really failed to do in our industry as coaches, myself included in the past, we've not really championed people to approach women through the heart. And that's why so many people fail with relationships, is because it's more about games and more about knowledge as opposed to empowering people to go through the heart, because that's where you're going to win a woman, is through her heart. And so I really want to really start championing you guys to start moving things through the heart, but in a very practical way. And you know what I shared with you, like, a woman wants to feel unique. That's a very practical way to penetrate through her heart. If you can see her uniqueness, her beauty, her glory, if you can do that, you've penetrated through her heart. But the only way that you can do that is also by doing it for yourself. Someone just says, have you ever worked with people who have autism? I have. Yes. Thank you for asking that. Absolutely. Can you repeat the 5 secrets one more time? 1, she's not going to tell you how severely she's been hurt by her ex. She's just not going to tell you that. 2, she's not going to tell you that essentially all she is a woman who really just wants to be loved by a guy. 3, she's not going to tell you her beauty secrets. And I told you the reason why she's not going to tell you and why you shouldn't push her to reveal those to you. And the 4th reason is she's not going to tell you that she wants to be unique. She wants to stand out from the rest of women. She wants to be her own beauty, and how you can really equip her to find that out for herself, and how that will change how she perceives you, how she interacts with you, how she values you. When you change the way someone sees about themselves and their lives, you have created a lot of value for yourself in their life. And the 5th one is this, is that women secretly still want men to take charge. They secretly do. They may not admit that to their girlfriends. They may not admit that on social media because of feminism and women's empowerment. But at the end of the day, we secretly still want men to take charge. I hope that this helped you guys. You guys, I really encourage you, get that vulnerability course. I had a client of mine, he took that, and he came to me because he was going through a divorce. He has children. He's, the president of a big corporation. And so on the outside, this guy has it all, but inside his home was crumbling, going through a divorce, children being hurt because of the divorce. He was married to a narcissistic woman. And so when he did the vulnerability course, he's in his 60s, and he said, Arica, and he said this in tears, and it grieved my heart, but it also made me excited that now he has access to something like this. He said, Arica, if I had gotten a hold of this vulnerability course in my 20s, my life would be different. I wouldn't be going through the pain I have gone through in my career, because there were some challenges where people were taking advantage of him over his career. There was some public humiliation that came with that. He said, I wouldn't have been in the marriage that I was in had I understood the concept of vulnerability. And he said, if I had this course in my 20s, my life today would be different. And he said that with a lot of heaviness in his heart, because there have been a lot of consequences as a result of not understanding this concept. And I said to him, but you understand it now. And now you can change your life so that your latter days are better than your former. So I really encourage you guys to get that course and do yourself a favor, change the trajectory of your life and how women perceive you and how they interact with you and how they share their hearts with you. Guys, I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Tomorrow I'll be doing another live video. So I'm just so excited to be able to be with you guys. And Ninja Wolf, thank you for that. He says, Arica, you're not just our love coach, you're our queen. That is such a beautiful thing to hear. Thank you so much. All right, guys, loving you, all of my emotional warriors out there. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to get that vulnerability course. You guys take care. And if you're new, also, please make sure that you hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that YouTube will let you know when I do one of these random live videos. Loving you guys so much. You guys take care of yourselves, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.